Max is going to gently push old Greg with a sore back. He does that, and I let that. Alright, so in this one, we're gonna get a little bit nerdy and talk about the physics of striking. I mean, the physics of like your body in sport. So there's 3 concepts to understand. And as I explain this, I want to make a point that knowing all this stuff isn't going to immediately make you better. So like breaking down the physics of movement is not going to like all of a sudden make you better, but it will give you an understanding, hopefully, of why you're losing balance or how to keep balance. So we'll get right into it from there. Concept 1 is the center of gravity. That is kind of like an invisible point in space where all of your weight is essentially being centered. Let's say I'm standing here, my center of gravity is somewhere in the middle of my body, and that's why I'm balanced right now. I'm gonna use this as a bit of an example, okay? It's really easy to understand. So if I put my fingers on this middle of this staff, and that is telling you that the center of gravity must be a little bit over to the side. I move my fingers over. Bounce. The center of gravity is right over top of the thing holding it. If I lose so much as one finger, the center of gravity is still gonna, the center of gravity is gonna be where it is, but without something underneath it, it's gonna tip. So just like your stance, if you're standing on the ground and your center of gravity gets outside of that, you're gonna fall over. We'll explain that in more detail, but just think that center of gravity sitting in center of mass, and where that moves is going to determine how balanced you are or are not. The next concept is the line of gravity, and what that is an imaginary vertical line that goes from the center of gravity down to the floor. And it's important to know because that little laser pointing at the ground, where that thing lands is going to determine again whether you're balanced or not. Based on the next concept, which is the base of support. When I'm in stance like this, if you looked at my feet and you drew an outline around them, that area that I'm standing on is the base of support. If the line of gravity lands on the floor within the base of support, I'm supposedly balanced. Let's say I start to fall backwards. Well, my center of gravity is moving backwards, and about the point I stumbled, the line of gravity was outside of that base of support, and that's why I fell. There's a lot of ways this can be applied. So if I throw a cross like a newbie, and I feel like I need to throw myself, my center of gravity is now past the base of support, and boom, over I go. So you might have heard coaches say things like, quit breaking base. Now you know what they mean. If I'm throwing a hook, this one's really common. People throw the hook and they overthrow. They throw their center of gravity outside their base of support, and whoop, and that's why they're falling over. So you should be able to maintain balance without making impact with people. If I stay on my stance and I'm moving properly, that line of gravity, it might travel back and forth within the base of support, but it's not gonna leave the base of support, and that's why you're gonna be balanced. So now we can take a kick like the teep, and this is a great example. If I lift up my foot, my base of support then is literally the outline of my foot. And the only way I'm gonna be able to balance is if my center of gravity is over the base of support. The line of gravity has to go right down my leg and be over that foot. So then I extend my leg. Well, that changes the center of gravity. And you'll see a lot of people throwing the teep and they kind of lean forward a bit and they can't help but fall forward and then they get punched in the face. One, it's gonna add a lot of power if you drive your hip in, but it also, as you extend your leg out, that slight leaning back keeps your center of gravity over the base of support. Now I have a choice of where to put my leg. If you are, again, leaning forward, you'll fall forward. If you throw the teep and you lean back too much, then you've put your center of gravity behind the base of support, and of course you're gonna fall over, as we've been saying. So think of it like this maybe. My shoulders shouldn't go further back than my heel. There should be a line from here to here. My hips will go forward because I'm throwing the teep, but my shoulder won't go significantly past or past at all the heel. Max is going to gently push old Greg with a sore back. He does that, and I let that happen. What happened there was Max pushed me. I allowed him to break posture. My center of gravity got outside my base of support, and that sucked. Now I'm getting pushed around, okay? Maybe I'm really strong, but maybe I'm not. Maybe he's really strong and there's no way I'm gonna be able to fight this, okay? So I can still maintain my center of gravity over my base of support, which is good solid footwork and a good strong posture. Max gives me that shove. I didn't lose my balance because I made sure that my center of gravity and my base of support moved at the same rate. Pretty nerdy, keep saying that. He does it again. I can still fight. Another thing that you'll see people do to get themselves out of position is they'll break base under pressure. He starts firing a three and they go, oh, done. This is terrible. Of course he's gonna be able to knock me off my base of support. If you can, as he's coming in, maintain your base, then maybe he's moving in and I can find a spot to sneak a shot in there. That is not gonna happen from here. Okay? So maintain a good base, maintain center of gravity above that base of support, and you're gonna have a lot more opportunities than if you're caught stumbling backwards like this. I wanna show you guys how to maintain that center of gravity even if you have to move. So I'm gonna use this teardrop bag to demonstrate how you might mitigate falling off balance when throwing your teep. Now, if I do the proper motion on my teep and I do that hip in, and I maintain a good base on that back leg with a little bit of lean back, I should be able to maintain balance. If I didn't do the hip in and the lean back, this thing's gonna knock my center of gravity off my base of support. Maybe it looks something like this. We're trying to avoid that kind of thing from happening. So one is you could just be so solid on that base that you can fire that teep and it'll just stop your opponent from coming in. Now, in the scenario where they're coming in hot or just maybe you mistime it and you end up hitting with your leg too bent, it's a lot harder to push someone back. If you catch them at extension, it's a lot easier to keep them back. So either they're just huge, strong, they're coming at you really, really fast and you just, again, mistimed it for some reason, you can't hold your ground. You can still maintain your balance and keep a decent base of support. You don't have to break base by getting knocked back. So, boom, oh, I was a little too close. That would have knocked me back. So what I'm gonna do this time is, I'm still in a good position, able to fight. All I did, well, instead of letting that center of gravity get over the base of support, I moved the base of support with the center of gravity. And you can maintain your balance. So your coach could just show you all that stuff and not explain all the nerdy science stuff, but my hope is that you could take these principles and instead of just learning them move by move, you can take the principle and you can run all your movements through the filter of that principle, and maybe you could figure out on your own why you're maintaining or losing your balance.